So for those of you who obviously caught wind of the story that TrackAIPAC got shut down earlier today, the Zionists are clearly going for broke. It is obvious that they just don't know what the hell to do anymore. But it goes without saying that their days are numbered. It is obvious that they are, because I often say that you just have to give them enough rope and they will hang themselves. And that's essentially what's been happening here. They ended up losing a substantially important congressional race. Leave it to Walter Masterson, who I forget the name of the group that he's a part of. He's like this comedy duo, if I remember correctly. But he really highlights the importance of recognizing that AIPAC is not as smart and as shrewd as they think they are. So here we go.
Tried to rig the game and wound up electing one of the most anti-AIPAC candidates. Great job, AIPAC. There's a special election in New Jersey's 11th district right now. It's a very blue district. So the Democratic primary, that's the real election. Meet Tom Malinowski. He used to be a congressman. Polls had him as the favorite to win the election. Even Kalshi had him at 90%. He supports Israel. Never called what's happening in Gaza a genocide. He even took a sponsored trip to Israel. So AIPAC should love him, right? Wrong. You see, Tom Malinowski said the United States should condition its aid to Israel. And
how dare he?
How dare
This is a cautionary tale to AIPAC. You know, they were totally kicking and screaming after this, which is so glorious. But my understanding is that she still has another hurdle to get through.
Yes, she does have another hurdle to get through. Mejia has a primary. So this was it's New Jersey politics where I'm from, guys. So we have had wonderful guests on our show, as you know, that have dealt with the ballot line problems in the state of New Jersey. This is another example of the stupidity of why these elections in many cases make no sense. She just went through a special election, won it. Now there's going to be a primary election in June, and that one will determine who goes to the general. And yes, whoever wins that primary will win the general in November.
But people might not know the backstory to this, right? So you kind of just jumped in about it and you didn't really give the backstory. So basically, the person that would be the establishment tool dared to suggest that some aid to Israel, although he is a Zionist, mind you, some aid might need to be conditioned. Well, AIPAC jumped on him. They jumped on him like white on rice. And they went and put all their money into him. And then what happened is an anti-Zionist, pro-Palestinian, more leftist person won. So they weren't paying attention to her.
No.
They were so focused on him not being 100% on board with their genocide. And so then they went and they ended up getting her in there. And it's really quite beautiful, actually.
It is. And I think it also speaks to the great disconnect that these overly affluent Zio scum have when it comes to assessing the validity of a congressional race. They probably based it strictly on the fact that the polling, and especially the amount of money raised, there was no way that Mejia was an actual threat to win. That's why they decided to get involved and try to push Malinowski out of the race and boost up this other guy. I think Brendan. I'm forgetting his last name right now, but I'm pretty sure that was their plan. They really they did not see this coming. Like I
know, it's great, and this is honestly, it's really poetic justice. It's really perfect. Now I hope that she's able to sustain and get through whatever other primary.
My understanding is that the Dem establishment, for whatever reason, especially Mickey Sherrill, who is the new governor of New Jersey, that they are rallying behind Mejia, that she has the support of the governor, and if she does, then she's going to win. I'd be very surprised if she didn't. But you never know what's going to happen. Maybe Malinowski runs, and now AIPAC decides to get behind him because they sure shit don't want her to be representing them. It's amazing how much you can just blow through money, especially when it comes from the treasury that gets sent to Israel and that gets reverted back to our elections. We're paying for this shit. Don't ever forget that.
Not give Netanyahu a blank check. AIPAC heard this and said, hey, bro, cool it with the anti-Semitism. Then AIPAC and UDP got out the money cannon and put down $2 million in negative ads towards Tom Malinowski. But here's the problem. AIPAC can't say, oh, Tom doesn't support Israel. So they focused their ad campaign on turning him into a fake Democrat. Voters saw these ads and said, wow, he's not a real Democrat. Who else in the race is a real Democrat? Enter Analilia Mejia. She's a progressive candidate who centered her campaign on the cost of living. She's backed by Bernie and AOC. And unlike Malinowski, she doesn't want to condition aid to Israel. She wants an outright ban on sending them offensive weapons. All the local New Jersey papers that said Malinowski was going to win now had to print out retractions. Kalshi has her at 99%. So AIPAC took a candidate that was mildly critical of Benjamin Netanyahu,
Right.
and they've wound up electing a candidate who is fiercely critical of Israel. Amazing.
It's glorious. Like you really, I mean, it's perfect, really.
Well, and not only that, but if you really think about it, he was going to win. There's no way Mejia was winning that race if those negative ads did not come in there. That's the irony of their actions. They overplayed their hand in the worst way possible. And now you're going to potentially get a true non-corporate representative in the state of New Jersey into Congress.
Let's say hopefully.
Hopefully. We'll see. They still have time to circle the wagons, and you know that if they have to pump millions upon millions of dollars saying, oh, we made a mistake, we were wrong about Tom Malinowski, and the next thing you know, he ends up having a resurgence and ends up doing very well. So I would not put anything past anybody when it comes to this race. Do I think anything is going to change? Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. But when you get right down to it, Jen, does it really matter?
No.